Perfect. All right. I hope that this stream is actually loading. Yep, it looks like it is. Okay. So thank you everyone again for joining. And so I have a lot that I really look forward to sharing today, and a lot that I think will be really kind of helpful for this journey that we're going to go on in terms of just thinking about this moment and thinking about the religion, the beliefs that have fed and served as foundation for the holiday that we're in, Ramadan, and beyond that, beyond all of this kind of 3D earthly life that we live, is that connection to the divine and the spiritual. And so this space is really an opportunity to explore it through a little bit of mystical practice, as well as what might be considered, kind of the typical contemplation. However, I'm not here to preach, and I'm not here to tell you what to believe. This is an offering of my work as kind of a spiritual worker. I was actually initiated under the Mayan way of medicine work, even though I am specifically Syrian and working with this stuff. So I have a lot that I pull from when I do this work, and I have a lot of kind of knowledge about the mystical and about meditation and about healing and understanding and esoteric work. And I also work with a lot of kind of Babylonian mysticism. So if that's something that you're curious about, I welcome you to keep in touch. But this is really a moment just honoring the fact that we're in the holy month of Ramadan. In my family's accent, it's Ramadan, but you can also say Ramadan. That's sort of, it's a hard date, basically. And so Ramadan is one of many lunar months that are counted in the Hijri calendar, which is the Muslim calendar. Ramadan is the month that it is believed that the angels basically illuminated the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with the knowledge and the word of God through the Quran. And so the idea of Ramadan is that you are getting closer to your spirit during this time through fasting of both food and water throughout the day, and you eat at sunset, right? And you do this as a way, not only in kind of remembrance and gratitude of the basic things in your life and the things that you have, but also remembrance and gratitude of the spiritual and of the divine. And in Islam, that can mean Allah, right? The great Lord, God. And I'm going to be using the terms Allah and the divine interchangeably, because it's my view that basically the work of the divine is one of, to put it kind of softly, I suppose, the work of the divine is the work of the creation of all things and the existence of all things. Oh yeah, someone switched to Facebook. That's cool. Thanks for watching, and hello to those who are on the stream. I see, wow, a lot of folks on the stream, so thank you for being here. Hello, hello, hello. Hey to Melissa, to Rusty, to Javanique, and hello again to Joanna. Thank you all who are participating. So thank you. So yes, so this connection to the divine is one in which we are really kind of tapping into existence, right? Tapping into the understanding of existence, and among many other things. Now, the Quran is a record of many different ways of kind of understanding the religions that came behind it, as well as a written record of how to be a good Muslim. So I can't really take that from anyone who feels strongly called by working with Islam. And I can't really, I'm not here to tell you whether or not you believe, in the people of the book, if you believe in the Torah, if you believe in the Bible, if you have a blended approach where you're looking at all three, or you're looking at just mysticism, you're looking at just magic, just witchcraft, just pagan work, I think that they all are blended. And the reason I know that is because of, among many things, the fact that the Quran speaks so heavily on things like the jinn, right? And the jinn are creatures from pagan times and from Babylonian times, kind of the spirits that are around us. And some of them are helpful and some of them are not. So the Quran has within it not only kind of a heart of Abrahamic religion, but also a heart of pagan tradition. And when I think of this as well, I'm not here to tell you anyone is your prophet or not. I do believe in a lot of what Muhammad wrote down, what he said, but I know he's a complicated figure. I've had many people, speak to me specifically about kind of the troubles of worshiping someone like Muhammad, or not worshiping, I should say, appreciating. So what I'll say to that is the understanding that Muhammad is a complicated figure. But what I do appreciate about this guy, who was a Bedouin pagan in Saudi Arabia, or Saudi, I should say, in the 600s, was that Muhammad was, he was basically this person who looked at all of the pagan traditions around him, and he kind of received these visions the way many of us in spiritual work do now. And he wrote it down, and he was also a warrior, and so he decided that it was time to make everyone a Muslim. And that's sort of the historical nature of how we now had these empires for so many years. So, what I like is that he was this receiver of visions, just as many prophets are, and many of us can be. I personally think that we are all in tune with our own psychic voice, our own psychic vision. And so I think that it's very much possible and open for us the opportunity to be our own receivers of spirit. Welcome to those who are here. Thank you to, yes, welcome Michael, Mary Met, and Rusty, welcome. I know this is kind of an unusual one with Ramadan, but it is nonetheless a holiday that is in my heart. And so with all of this in mind, when I think of Islam, I also am thinking of mysticism. And mysticism of Islam, I should say mystic Islam, aka Sufism. I have a few bones to pick with it, which the first is, if any Sufi ever tells you that Sufism is not Islam, you should just tell them that they're wrong and just hold that within you, because Sufism is Islam. Sufism, which is in its own way a sacred mystical tradition. If anything, I would call myself a Sufi. I would say that if you know anything about the Sufis or the Sufi tradition, always know that someone is lying to you when they say it's not Islam, because it is. It's just the kind of mystical, even more sort of pagan understanding of the divine, of understanding the divine. For some Sufis, Allah has no gender. Allah is in fact a genderless being. Allah is you, Allah is me. Creation and magic are very much a part of understanding the divine, understanding yourself, your soul, your nefesh. And so that is kind of where I'm also pulling from, which is that God is not only just above us, but is in you and is in me and is with everyone. And there's actually these many steps of Sufi meditation they're like regimented. So the idea that Islam is all, this kind of hard and fast religion and all this stuff, it's wrong, because there are many opportunities to work with the mysticism of Islam and to work with the meditation of Islam. And these levels of meditation that you can go into with Sufism, you start by simply falling asleep, but then you can push past that sleepiness and you start to go into calm mind, and then you start to go into no mind. And then eventually you start to go into God mind. And that's kind of what our goal and our intention is today. I see some comments. Thank you. Thank you for learning, for being open to learning from my perspective, and grateful to those who are here for the first time. So yeah, so we're going to kind of be thinking about these levels of contemplation and of meditation. Why? Because in the Quran, it is repeated many times that there are 7 levels of heaven. And the lower heavens, the lower, are the lanterns in the sky, aka the stars. But there's actually 6 more above that. And, we understand now things about string theory and multiverse and kind of multidimensional consciousness. That was already in the Quran in the 600s. And I can hear my own father's voice saying, everything was predicted in the Quran. And, I'm not going to be that person. But the idea of multiple dimensions, multiple galaxies, stars beyond our comprehension, this was all taken by this guy, this Bedouin man in the desert in the 600s. And it's your mind raises to think about it. Your consciousness raises to think about it. And that is kind of what I wanted to focus on today, and to really think about the universe as it was created, the cosmos as it is a part of this kind of gift from God that we live in. My favorite surah, which is what we'll be focusing on today, Surah Al-Mulk. Surah Al-Mulk. I've used this surah for years because for me, the surah is one of just comprehension of how huge the universe is, and how magnificent it is, but also how perfect it is. And that's my favorite part, is that it says, no matter how many times you look at anything in the universe, all you'll find is consistency. And that really resonates with me, because it's true. Within everything is consistency. Consistency among the stars, consistency of the laws of nature, consistency of kind of the mystery continuing to unravel of our, existence, our spirit bodies. And so as we're looking at Surah Al-Mulk, that is really, I think, what is, for me, most important, is thinking about that grandness of the cosmos, contemplating it, sitting with it, and kind of receiving eventually an understanding that is beyond words. I'm sorry, I don't know what PHI means. You'll have to explain, I'm sorry. So that is, I think, that is what we're here to work on today. Now, if you actually know Surah Al-Mulk, I have to be honest, if you already actually know it, you might be thinking, what about the rest of the surah? There's a lot of other stuff going on in there. And also, I'll just say that when I first found this surah, this was my introduction to the Quran. And I have a kind of complicated relationship to my identity. I'm not really in contact with the family that I was with as a child, I'll just say. Oh, are you saying pi? No, phi. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. But anyway, it's not really about my history, but what it is to say is I had to rediscover and reimagine my relationship to my ancestry, as well as the spiritual wisdom and knowledge of that ancestry. And so Surah Al-Mulk was the door that was open. And so when I would be scared, I would play it Oh, it's like pi, but more fun. Very cool. All right. Yes, I mean, even that is an ordering of the universe, right? Like the Fibonacci record. I mean, the Fibonacci sequencing and things like that. It's all there. It's all patterning. Everything in this universe is patterning. Um, so in this universe, or no, in my connection to my religion, Surah Al-Mulk became kind of a comfort to me. And so that is another reason why I want to use it today, because if after this meditation you love the Surah or something, or you love the energy that we're working with, I'm not going to play the Surah, though I was thinking of reciting about half of it maybe at the end. So we'll see, but it's a longer one. It's a 6-minute recitation, so I think that's a little longer than just going through the meditation, but it's one of those things I would play it before bed and it would help me fall asleep. And so I think that there's something to be said for, if it calls to you, be open to it. If you want to use it in your practice as part of your protection work, as part of your prayers, I use it as I work with my Babylonian stuff, as I work with my Babylonian exorcism work. And for those who are curious, please stay in touch regarding the Babylonian exorcisms. Those will be a paid workshop class happening in the summer in July, August, and are going to be very, very exciting. Second year running, and I'm planning to talk a lot more about less I just plan to talk a lot more about history and connection. So please do keep in touch about that. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. If you're on Zoom or if you found me over Facebook, I have a little link tree, and that will link you to my website, which will allow you to subscribe to the newsletter. So please consider doing so. But yeah, use this. If you're someone practicing and you need more, you need tips, you need help with spirit work, you've conjured a spirit or something, and you feel your house is a little too haunted, use this prayer, because it is a protective prayer. It's not just about the cosmos, it's also about being protected from negative energy. And I didn't really kind of fully understand that for a long time, but I really do today. And so we're going to, in the meditation, kind of allow ourselves to be protected, and to kind of be removed. But, allow that to be the understanding too, that the grandness of the multiverse, of the universe, is not only that it is everything beautiful, it is complicated and there are difficulties, but there is the idea that everything has been put there for a reason. Everything is in is in kind of perfect alignment and harmony. And while I don't wish anyone's traumas on them to have happened, at least if we're looking at this energy of Ramadan, this energy of kind of working with the Quran, we understand that the universe is multifaceted in many ways, in the difficult and in the good ways, and that there's still beauty even in the complicated nature of this incredible place that we live. Now, I think it's officially sunset. So I need to look this up because I forgot to prepare. And my production director and I are both fasting. So all right, it's eating time. So before we begin, to all the folks who are here, if you've got a snack, صحتين وعافية, blessings of health, blessings of abundance to you. I'm going to break my fast now. So I have with me some dates, some tamar, some magdul, and I have with me some ayran, some yogurt. So I'm just going to have, and of course I just dropped it. I'm just going to have 1 tamar, 2 tamar for now. So if you're eating, you're welcome to say, I'm eating too, whatever you want. It's all good. Bismillah. Good God, I'm sorry. Bismillah. على قلبك Don Walid. صحتين إلك صحتين وعافية. I'm sorry, I don't like to have the sounds, so maybe let me just eat this. Blessings to all. All right, I'll just have a little yogurt or a little ayran, and then we'll get started. So let's play the music, please. And ayran, if you're not familiar, is I guess it's drinkable yogurt. God, sorry. Bismillah, Bismillah. All right, yallah. So thank you to everyone who is with us. Thank you to all who are here. I see so many people on Facebook, so many people here in the chat. It's such a blessing to have you. Thank you all for being a part of this space. And if you feel ready, we're going to go into a little bit more of a relaxed moment and a little bit more of contemplation now of the divine. So I'm going to begin with a prayer. This is for some folks very familiar. This is the first surah of the Quran. And traditionally, if we were all praying right now in the masjid, we would be saying this prayer. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik Yawm ad-Din. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا ضالين آمين. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله Alhamdulillah, 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 Alhamdulillah. Bismillah. Ameen. Ameen. So if you're here with me now, we're going to go into meditation space. Let's begin with a little bit of breath work. Taking a moment now to just notice where we are. Notice this moment. I'm going to now invite us to take some deep breaths. This is going to be to the count of 7. So when I say 7, you'll breathe in. And when I say 7, you'll breathe out. For the 7 levels of heaven in which we are all hoping to find in this lifetime, in this moment, breathing in now, 7. Breathe out, 7. Breathe out in, 7. Breathe out, 7. We'll do 2 more here. 7. 7. 7. Last breath, letting it all release, everything leaving our bodies as we'd like. And 1 big breath now. 7. I mean, let us now arrive here in this moment, being in now. We are connected to the spirituality that is inherent in this time, under this moon, under this sky. And we are letting all that is earthly drop and be released. Releasing the day, letting go of all the people, letting go of the anger and the sadness. Releasing any tension in the body, letting the earth rise to meet us. So we are allowing ourselves to become more open, more present. Let us begin by accepting the following. There is so much outside of our control. There are many times of uncertainty, many endings, and many failures in our lives. We simply accept and allow for the knowledge that within us are things that might have felt imperfect. Breathing through this now. We don't need to go too deep, just kind of releasing the need for control of this moment. so that we can reorganize our thoughts and instead show up without a need to be any one thing or one person right now, today. May we trust that all trials can be overcome and that those who rejected inner peace can be left behind on our path today. Because instead, we are choosing divine kindness, divine mercy, and divine forgiveness for ourselves across our entire path. We forgive. We are compassionate. Everything else is left behind. And instead, everything now, as all is leaving, all thoughts, all people, all imperfection or worry, is replaced both with this forgiveness and a sense of inner peace. Peace of mind and peace of stomach, peace of back, peaceful body, peaceful soul. We are the embodiment of peace and forgiveness. And through this peace, we are contemplating the divine, remembering now the divine act of creation that gave us life, that was both random and yet at all times so perfectly aligned. And through this creation, beneath us is the earth, the gracious garden and container that we were given to find our lives. And above us, unknowable paradise, Jannah, stars and asteroids and storms, heaven upon heaven. We are tapping into the great power that lives at the heart centers of our DNA and at the centers of black holes and the dark matter that is between you and I, the everything in between. And on this earth, in our garden of a planet, our hadika, we are floating through galaxies, sitting with the grand nature, with the pure perfection of existence of all things, knowing that life is fragile, but that life is also protected in the macro as well as the micro. Knowing that we are safe through the majesty and omnipotence of existence, the emanations of souls and natural phenomena, all part of the luxurious palace of the universe. We are safe in this place that is so grand, so infinite. This kingdom laid out for each and every one of us. Peace upon peace. Nur ala nur, salam ala salam. With gratitude, we are in the hands of the great dominion, the great kingdom, a great menagerie of all life that is watched over by the face of the divine, the great Allah, the creator, who is faceless and faced, who is all things, who is Father Sky, who is more than that. and who watches over us in this time, opening the doorways, laying out the path, blessing us, loving us, appreciating all who we are. We can feel this consciousness, God consciousness, up above our crown. Some may call it the soul star chakra, opening, receiving. And as we are coming closer to the understanding, awareness of this consciousness, we realize that we are our own star, one lantern in the sky among many, one soul among many. And this lantern can rise as our spirits rise, rising to meet the divine, to see and experience the true secret, the true wisdom of this moment as it passes. Peace on peace, light on light, perfection on perfection. And as we are rising, we perceive that we are moving now into alignment of perfection of the 7 layers of the heavens. Remembering that if you were to contemplate this universe, you would find no inconsistency, only the everlasting bounty of all existence. And so we move upwards through the 7 heavens, past the spinning winds of the first, past the spinning planets of the second, past the spinning moons of the third, past the spinning solar systems of the fourth, past the spinning galaxies of the sixth, the fifth, past. The universe is spinning. In the sixth. And finally in the seventh, passing into dimensions beyond this, spinning and spinning in alignment with the seven heavens. Let us sit in this multidimensional cosmic awareness in this holy month of Ramadan, of blessings. I will pray now, sharing in these final moments as we sit together in contemplation. I'll share the beginning of Surah Al-Mulk. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم الذي خلق سبع سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيها وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير. قل أرأيتم أن أصبح ماءكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين. بماء معين. أيوة. We'll take a few more minutes to sit in this silence, maybe one more minute, since I know we're at time. And then I'll count us down and we'll say goodbye for tonight. May each and every one of us be a holy and divine container for the consciousness that is Allah Al-Karim, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Now counting down, I'll count down from 7, and when I say 0, each and every one of us will open our eyes. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you so much to everyone who came to this today. I'm going to stop the recording